had non-stop action, surprising results, debuts, and just to think, it's all going to get ruined by SummerSlam tomorrow.
Probably.
Well, this is our NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3 review, and it seems like we say this every single time, with like maybe one every so often, where it's just NXT was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think the theme of this episode, the theme of this takeover was, hey, let's go real fast.
Yeah, like it didn't slow down until the main event. And that's when it really needed to slow down.
Yeah, and even then, it wasn't like... I don't feel like we hit a lull that made it feel like the show was petering out.
No, not at all.
It was... The pace of the match was kept in the way that the championship match should have been in.
Absolutely. But we opened up with the match that had the least amount of build, that being Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano, and this just kicked it off. This was by far Andrade's best match.
Yeah. Him and Oni has done a couple really good matches with each other. But in recent memory, with the whole not caring gimmick coming around, this just being a complete 180 from that.
I think that's been the idea, and I think that really worked for the gimmick. Is we had months of just, oh great, it's another Andrade match. You know, nothing special is going to come out of this. You know, why do we even care? And now that Andrade is back on that, like, I need to do this, mostly because Zelina is the one that's telling him to do it, but he has this newfound need to win in the ring, and then you put him across the ring from someone like Johnny Gargano, and you're guaranteed to have one hell of a kickoff match. And just, I mean, this is the first time we've seen Johnny in full-on Johnny wrestling mode since DIY broke up.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's only had one match back on NXT, so to have him come in and have a match like this with Andrade was like, oh yeah, this is why we like Johnny Gargano, because he can fucking go.
Yeah.
And then Andrade just answered back perfectly, and boy, we thought for sure that Johnny Gargano had this in the bag. And it looked like he did for a second, because he was hitting everything on Andrade.
Yeah, he hit everything in the Johnny Gargano playbook, including the lawn dart toss, which I can't remember him pulling off in NXT.
He might have done it in the Cruiserweight Classic, but I think
he might have done it to Ciampa.
But I don't remember him doing it on NXT.
And yeah, so that put him in the driver's seat.
And he was setting up for the kneeling super kick, which was his half of DIY's finish.
And Selena tossed a blue T-shirt towards the crotch region of Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, boy, he caught that like nobody's business though. He was just like, and it was obvious that it was a DIY shirt. Yeah. It was enough to cause a distraction. Andrade ended up hitting a drop kick that sent Johnny crashing into the corner, followed it up with the hammerlock DDT, and Andrade Cien Almas defeated Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, so using some mind games.
Yeah.
You know, getting
well
into
done.
the psyche of Johnny Gargano to get him to, you know, it could have been anything thrown into the ring, but that being the DIY T-shirt gives a really good excuse for that moment of hesitation before he started moving again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and he even sold it afterwards because the shirt was in the ring, and he was like purposely scooting away from it.
Yeah.
Because you know the memory of Ciampa's betrayal is still very fresh in Johnny's mind. So.
Still fresh in everybody's mind.
Absolutely. Fantastic way to kick it off. We followed it up with a chaotic tag team title match.
Yeah, and chaotic pre-match because both teams started brawling,
Yeah.
Well, before the bell rang.
Yeah, the announcer couldn't even finish the announcements because the Authors of Pain just bolted towards the ring, started beating up everybody in Sanity except for Nikki Cross, who just kind of like ran around and made cat noises and yelled and screamed and did all kinds of weird shit. Eric Young ended up setting up a table up against the barricade over on the side, and it was just all kinds of craziness happening. Finally, Alexander Wolf and I believe Akam ended up getting in the ring. We had Killian Dane get up on one side, Razor get up on one side. Bell rang, boom, here we go. Everything's going. Alexander Wolf, awesome job, man.
Yeah, this was something that he desperately needed in order to give him a viable reason why he should be looked at as an equal in Sanity.
Yeah, I mean, up to this point, the only moment that he's had to himself was cutting that promo talking about Eric Young's plan.
Yeah.
He hadn't had anything, but man, did he fucking kill it in this match. And, you know, he wasn't doing so well right at the beginning, but then we had this fantastic moment where he went over and was going for a tag, and then Eric Young jumped up on the apron, and they kind of looked at each other, and he tagged in Eric Young, and I went, wait a second, how does this work? And then the commentary made me realize that Killian Dane hadn't been legally in the match the whole time. He was just a stand-in, kind of throwing the Authors of Pain off. It was actually Eric Young and Alexander Wolf, which is exactly the pairing you wanted going into this match. So then Eric Young starts going on a tear, but then Authors of Pain, because Eric Young is literally the smallest guy in Sanity,
yeah,
gave the Authors of Pain a chance to really ramp up and just destroy Eric Young. They did the whole, like, the backdrop into, like, the Dominator slam. That was so fucking cool. Authors of Pain, like you said, while we're watching.
They isolated Eric Young. They did the really good tag team continuity of the quick tags and the double teams. Something that's usually not quite their forte. Because usually they're just very much like 1-2 punch. Yeah. Get in, do a big move. You know, because they're so much bigger. This one, it was, you know, they worked like, you know, a well-oiled heel tag team.
Yeah, and we're keeping that pace that was set by Almas and Gargano. This match did not slow down.
Eric Young did a tope, which is the first time I've seen him do that in ages. Yeah. Alexander Wolf
did a barrel roll.
Try to helo out of the ring. And he got the heel without the O. And
then Nikki Cross is like, well, hey, everyone else is doing it. I want to do it too. And the ref's like, no, you're not in the match. You can't do it.
And then Paul Ellering's like, no, you're not in the match. You can't do it.
So we had a little face-off between them. And then Nikki's like, fuck it. So she went up to the top rope.
Paul Ellering distracted the referee.
Yeah. She dove onto Akam while the referee is dealing with Paul Ellering. So the referee doesn't see Akam catch Nikki Cross and then get just fucking crushed into the chair or into the table by Killian Dane. So all three of them are just sprawled out. Razor is the only one left by himself. Eric Young tosses Razor back in the ring. He tags in Alexander Wolf. Him and Wolf hit the tandem neck breaker. And Sanity, with the pinfall made by Alexander Wolf, are the new NXT Tag Team Champions. Holy shit. So much fun.
Which is a theory I never spoke out loud. Okay. It's the reason why Wolf never got his singles theme, like Nikki Cross and Killian Dane did.
Because he is the tag team guy?
Yeah, because him and Eric Young will use the regular Sanity theme.
All right. So now we have Killian Dane who can start going for the NXT Championship, and we have Nikki Cross who can start making another attempt at the Women's Championship. Yeah. I'm all for it. But it didn't stop there because then both teams Sanity and the Authors of Pain were attacked and beat down by Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly.
Yes. Blue Griffin.
Different colored mythical creature.
Black and white t-shirt squad.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Hanes.
The Hanes Bros. No, it was so cool to...
Hanes for Pains.
I mean, Kyle O'Reilly has officially signed, and I would assume that this moment means Bobby Fish is signed, but there hasn't really been any official, like, hey, welcome to NXT Bobby Fish, other than his match against Aleister Black.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's cool, and I'm hoping it stays. It would be fantastic, because I really like Red Dragon, or whatever team name they're gonna go by in NXT.
Yellow Unicorn.
Yellow Unicorn. That's what I'm... No, because they can't use Unicorn. That's stepping on the New Day shtick.
Well.
Let's go with Blue Griffin.
Alright.
Blue Griffin is what they're going to go by. So, yeah. Let's keep it up. Let's have two guys just kick the ever-loving shit out of each other as Hideo and Tommy and Aleister Black fuck shit up.
Yeah. This match was 90% foot offense.
It was...
And 10% Hideo headlock.
It was nasty. These guys did not pull a single strike.
No, they hit some real stiff kicks. Hideo nailing some really, really snug knee drops to the forehead of Aleister Black.
Yeah.
Aleister ended up getting a busted nose, which then, like, almost turned into, like, a streak of war paint.
Yeah, it was...
That went from his nose all the way down, like, the side of his face.
Yeah,
it made me think, like, if it had also gone up, like, it was like Kratos from God of War. Because he just had this red stripe down the bottom half of his face.
Yeah, no, and it just added to the overall intensity of the match that neither of these guys gave a fuck. They were just throwing everything they could at each other. And just, Aleister just, with that glob of blood on his face for the entirety of the match, was like the embodiment of this match. It was just physicality all the way through. Hideo, I love the fact that he would have these moments where he'd get Aleister down and then he would demand the respect from the crowd.
Yeah.
I love that he constantly did that, but then he'd go back and then he'd realize his mistake because then Aleister would kind of take a little bit of the momentum to his side, and it was just great back and forth stuff like that. Both of them hitting every type of knee strike, straight kick, just gnarly shots all the way through. And then Hideo was finally...
Hideo hit a couple nasty, like, backhands, too.
Yeah, he has his little combo strike that he does. And that kind of made Aleister reel a little bit. And, you know, I think it was perfect timing because I think Nigel had said, you know, Hideo had thrown everything at Aleister, but he hadn't gone for the go to sleep yet. And right as he said that, Hideo pulled his knee pad down and brought Aleister up, but Aleister was able to fight out of it a little bit, shove him off, and Hideo's like, alright, fine, and he went for a clothesline, and he ducked the clothesline, and as soon as Hideo turned back around, he got black masked in the face, and Aleister Black's winning streak continues on NXT. Yeah. By the way, those of you keeping track for points, that ties us 1-1, because I chose Sanity winning the tag team titles, and he chose Aleister Black winning that singles match.
Yep.
We both lost a point due to voting for Johnny Gargano. But we're in agreement for the next two matches following this one. First up, the Women's Championship match. Asuka at 504 days, I believe, defending her NXT Women's Championship against Ember Moon.
And this match got off to a start right away because as soon as the bell rang, Ember ran across and kicked Asuka directly in the face.
The whole beginning of this match, Ember was on fire. No pun intended.
Good. Yeah, and kick after move, until Asuka finally actually had to, like, purposefully create distance between the two of them to pick up the advantage.
Yeah, Asuka had to run away from the intensity that Ember was bringing to this match. And then, Asuka kind of found her moment, and she was kind of able to even it up. And then it was very similar to Hideo and Alistair, where both of them were throwing everything at each other. Yeah. And it was just, a few moves for Ember, and then Asuka would take over. And then it was just a back and forth battle for momentum. And neither side could get enough to really get enough of an advantage. And it even got to the point where finishers meant nothing. Like, nothing was going to stop either of these women.
Yeah. Ember, surprisingly, kind of like the midpoint of the match, hit the Eclipse.
Yeah, out of nowhere. And she had this look on her face like, oh yeah, that's fucking it. Like, there's no way this isn't it. And then when Asuka kicked out, she lost her mind.
Yeah.
And what I can't remember what the other move. She did another one. That just like when she went to pin Asuka and Asuka kicked out, she threw like a temper tantrum.
It was a super kick.
That's right. Yeah, which I love Asuka's sell on that super kick. She just she throws herself back so fast and sells it like a champ. And yeah, it's just such a direct shot. You'd think it would knock Asuka out, and Ember sure as hell thought it was going to, and it didn't. And yeah, Ember lost her mind.
Yeah, and I love that they played up the Asuka hiding behind the referee, and then Asuka, and then she like reverses the momentum on the crossbody that Ember does, and tries to pin her while holding the tights.
Yeah, and the referee catches it.
Yeah,
that was so good. Ember actually favoring the left arm, which is the arm that she hurt and had to be pulled out of the last takeover for. So that was Asuka's main focus there, which kind of went into the end here because she ends up trying to lock in a cross arm breaker on Ember, and Ember's she will not let go of that grasp. She finally gets the momentum to kind of roll over and do just kind of putting all of her weight on top of Asuka to try and pin her. Asuka's able to kick out, and that launches Ember, turns her around perfectly in place for the Asuka lock. She's got her locked in. Ember is rolling around, fighting. She tries to bridge back and tries to get a pin for herself, but Asuka's able to kind of roll that back over. And there was just so much fight in Ember, but she couldn't get to the ropes. She couldn't break the submission. She taps out, and Asuka is still the NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah, and when Asuka gets up to celebrate, she's on like rubber legs. She hardly can move, but triumphant. The reign of the longest champion in the current era continues, and Ember Moon leaves Takeover in tears.
Yeah. Crowd, showing her a lot of respect, giving her that almost we'll see on the main roster treatment. I don't think she's going to the main roster yet. I don't think she's done in NXT. I think she's got at least. I think if she debuts before WrestleMania, I'm giving it around the Royal Rumble.
I was thinking of the same thing for a while now. Up until something that happened at Takeover.
Okay.
That we didn't mention.
Oh.
That general managers Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan were both sitting in the audience.
That's true. They were up in one of the sky boxes. They're hanging out. Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, No Way Jose were all there, all kind of hanging out and talking to them.
So
you think they were scouting?
I think because the rumors were that WWE is scheduling like a secondary version of the Superstar Shakeup.
Oh yes.
SummerSlam.
I think not.
I think what's going to happen is I think both brands might do 1 or 2 call-ups just to add more bodies to the roster rather than flip people around again, because it just seems like, to me, flipping people back to other shows again would just be so redundant because it just so recently happened. So I'm thinking we're just going to get a handful of call-ups, which is why specifically they would have shown Kurt and Daniel were watching TakeOver.
Yeah. I mean, it does kind of go hand in hand, because we had former NXT talent in the crowd as well.
Lots of former NXT talent.
Neville was there. We had Shinsuke and Kalisto, Samoa Joe, Becky, Sasha, and Bayley were all watching the Women's Championship.
Corey Graves did commentary on the Tag Team Championship match.
JR did commentary on the Aleister Black versus Hideo match. There was a lot of people there.
Fuck you, Tom Phillips. Yeah. Apparently,
there was a lot of people there watching the show, simply for the fact that NXT Takeover is an important event. So I don't know. We'll see.
And it's like the Brooklyn Takeover can only be considered second only to whatever Takeover happens right before WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost like SummerSlam is considered like the second most important pay-per-view right after WrestleMania.
It's funny how that works out.
Weird.
Let's finish it off with our NXT Championship match. The glorious Bobby Roode looking to retain his championship against the #1 contender Drew McIntyre.
He lost his trophy, though, for most creative NXT TakeOver entrance because he reused the piano floor one.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre had a pretty cool one, though. He had a whole, procession in front of him.
Yeah, New York police bagpipe players.
And then they fake played his theme song while he walked to the ring. The drummers, they couldn't keep up with that shit.
I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, this is the match where it finally kind of slowed down, but the pace was necessary because both of these guys are very methodical.
Yeah.
In how they approach matches. Bobby Roode obviously trying to get in the head of his opponents, while Drew McIntyre is he is a big dude who can come at you fast, but he's not going to make that his priority. Yeah. He will stalk you for a long enough time to where you feel like you don't have anywhere to go. And so when he starts throwing blows like he was in this match, it's hard for Bobby Roode to combat against that.
Yeah.
Because it's all power game from Drew McIntyre. But Bobby Roode, being resourceful, is easily able to get a little bit more of an advantage.
It's one of the things that it's at this point now it's almost cliche to keep comparing Bobby Roode to being the modern day Ric Flair.
Yeah.
But it's just so much more of seeing that in Bobby Roode in this match.
Yeah.
Where this is Bobby Roode's first title defense against somebody who's this much significantly bigger than him. That it's oh, wow, look at all this stuff that he's doing in order to keep on the offensive against Drew McIntyre that maybe isn't in the normal wheelhouse for Bobby Roode, or, is showing his super resourceful side that he wouldn't need so much, and I mean, he uses the resourcefulness every way, but it's neat to see him implement it in different styles for each opponent.
Yeah. And it's a completely different game plan going against someone like Roderick Strong than it is going against Drew McIntyre. But he's still able to use, little tactics that kind of sway things back into his favor. The thing that we all kind of had the same kind of moment where we had between Asuka and Ember is both of them hitting finishers and both of them kicking out.
Yeah.
Future Shock couldn't put down Bobby Roode. The Glorious DDT wouldn't keep down Drew McIntyre, and it was both of them trying to really elevate themselves to a spot that could benefit them and put away the other. And so Bobby ends up going for, Drew hit a Claymore kick and tried to go for a pin, but Bobby Roode was too close to the ropes, ended up getting his foot on the rope there. And then Bobby hit another glorious DDT and decided that one wasn't enough. So he picks him up and tries to go for a second one, but Drew is able to do kind of a short arm little headbutt and kind of like knock Bobby Roode loopy, and then Claymore kick like a motherfucker, and that drops Bobby Roode, and Drew McIntyre is the new NXT champion. So we leave Takeover with a point apiece. Woo! We didn't do so well this time. Sometimes we're a little bit better about reading NXT, not so much this time, because NXT's good at surprises. Like after Bobby Roode left ringside, a little bit of a rustle in the crowd as
everybody look over there because Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are on the stairs.
Look, it's Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. They were here earlier, but what's happening over in the crowd? Oh, you know, someone like Adam Cole, BayBay, who proceeds to beat the hell out of Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. Super kicks him.
Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish helping out, and I mean, what else can you say? Hashtag Team of Honor.
Hashtag Future Shock.
Yeah. We've been waiting for it. Finally got it. I am so excited for... Once again, that's the great thing about NXT is I'm constantly excited for the future.
Shocked.
The future of NXT.
Shocked.
That doesn't make any sense.
Sorry.
It's every single time they do something like this, I'm constantly in my mind going, oh man, where's this gonna go?
Yeah.
Like I get that occasionally on the main roster, but it's like, oh, okay, this is gonna go here. Okay, that's fine. NXT keeps me guessing and keeps me interested.
Yeah, and that's like the big difference is you watch a story play out on Raw or SmackDown, and it's so the same thing we've seen over and over and over again between, it's just you change the two people who were involved in the feud, but you get the same stuff over and over and over again on there. This is, if I can recall, the first time in the history of TakeOver that somebody's debut was attacking somebody post-main event.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever been after the main event, because I think the only other, as far as I know, the only other person or people to attack someone after a match was the Authors of Pain.
Yeah.
I might be wrong. Post down in the comments if you know differently. But I'm pretty sure they're the only other ones to ever debut like actually attacking someone. Which, I mean, Triple H is smart. He knows how to spread things out. He knows how to keep things interesting, and
I mean, on top of that, the team that he has with him working in NXT.
Yeah.
So many super knowledgeable people.
The creative team is fantastic. They I mean, I can only hope that one day they are part of the main roster creative to, help out a little bit. But with that being said, I give it an A.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna give it a very strong B+.
Oh.
Only on the account that two things.
Okay.
I lost the point on a match that I should have gotten had it been announced that it was Eric Young and Alexander Wolf.
Fair enough.
Because then I would have voted for them. And also, I just slightly disagree with Ember Moon losing.
Yeah,
the big match.
I think that was the biggest downside to it, is that, you know, Asuka doesn't need the championship anymore. This was definitely a good time for Ember, because it kind of leaves you going like, okay,
now what?
Asuka's literally beaten every single person on the roster clean now. Who else can? I mean, unless we're gonna have some of these new girls from the Mae Young Classic start showing up. I mean, we you know, Sarah Logan is probably gonna start doing a little bit more. I wouldn't mind seeing Ruby Riott get another shot at Asuka.
Yeah.
Hell, Sanity's starting to take over. Let's do Nikki versus Asuka again. I'm not sick of that feud yet.
Yeah. It's one of those things too, because I feel like this is the only big complaint that I might have in the next coming weeks with this, is I don't want them to pull, and it's not the exact same thing, but similar enough that it's like the Neville Tozawa feud.
Okay.
Where, build up this huge match, only to have Neville drop the title to Tozawa 6 days earlier on an unannounced match on Raw.
So you're hoping that there isn't some sort of like random rematch or just a random title match where someone else beats Asuka?
Well, my thing is, I don't want in like 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time Ember Moon beats Asuka on just an episode of NXT.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I have a hard time seeing this thing stretching all the way out to whatever the next takeover is.
Next one would be Survivor Series.
Because if they have a match on just plain NXT, not that it won't be a good match, but it won't. I don't think it will capture the way this match felt.
The big stage is necessary for matches like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you there.
I'm starting to almost think too with my thought process, my theory on Kurt and Brian there being for call-ups, is that Asuka might leave NXT undefeated and just vacate the championship.
Kind of like what Paige had to do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will see.
Okay. New theory popping in my head right now.
All right.
Asuka is going to get called up.
Okay.
She's going to vacate the title.
Okay.
And they might make the live series finale of the Mae Young Classic to crown a new NXT Women's Champion. That's just a theory.
That's not a bad idea. I'm kind of okay with that. If that's how you guys want to play this, cool. Do it. If not, fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. Whoa, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Put us back to normal.
Please. I'm giving up.
Unblur us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for watching, guys.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Click the links down below.
There are a lot of links.
Like the podcast.
That's one of the links.
And Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
It's reasonable with a W.
Like wrestling. Where there's 2 brand new punishment videos on Reasonable Wrestling Fans. They're officially up.
Woo.
Also, stay over on this YouTube channel because coming up next, oh boy, 13. That's right. They added another fucking match.
Yeah, Jason Jordan and the Hardys versus The Miz, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel. Which we both voted.
Yeah,
for.
we both voted
Hardys for Hardys and Jordan.
So yeah.
Jorts, Team Jorts.
Team Jordies. So yeah, 13 matches at SummerSlam. Please don't let it suck. But for now, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Team Angle Jr. / Hardys.